Greetings, Earth nerds! My name is Calgacus Bloodfart, and you've never met me before, but I know a few things about you. It started out so good, and then they had to end it with a noise like someone just punched their cat really, really hard. Not that I'm against punching cats once in a while. They occasionally deserve it. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about myself before we get started with this fine game. Now, there's no easy way to say this. It might weird some of you guys out a little bit, but just try to be, open-minded and everything. I'm an evil dictator from outer space. I rule another galaxy. It is called the Calgacus Galaxy, and it is a dimension of pure smut and filth. And I am its ruler, its supreme dictator, for life. So don't fuck with me, or I'll send the space legions to your house. So, you might be wondering, if he is an evil space dictator, what is he doing on Earth playing old computer games? Well, that is a perfectly reasonable question to ask. You see, there is a reason for why we Calgacus have chosen not to invade and conquer your world. The reason, quite simply, is that you make the best video games in all of the universe. At least, as far as we know. Of course, even we have not explored the entire thing. But I digress. You see, we know that if we were to conquer you and take this over, we might accidentally fuck things up, and you would no longer provide us with so much good entertainment. So, you should all stop and thank the makers of old games like this one, because they are the only thing that has saved your planet from being enslaved. They are the only reason that you are not working in my space fields right now. Ha ha ha! Yes, but anyway, let's not get into that. So, this is an old horror game from the mid-90s called Shivers. It is a puzzle game. It is not like one of your flashy modern games, like where you run around and shoot things and like stab Nazis and things like that. It isn't like that. This is a puzzle game. You have to use your mind, alright? And it's a little bit low-tech by today's standards, but I want you to use your imagination, because, after all, that is the point of a game like this. So let's get started. Fuck you, Shivers title screen guy. You cannot outlaugh me. My name? You want to know my name? My name is Calgacus Bloodfart, ruler of the Calgacus Galaxy, and you would know this if you weren't such a fucking nerd. Alright, fine. I'll fucking add it here, you fucking sons of bitches. There! Fucking nerds! What have we here? We've got a scary looking kid. Oh, is something blocking it? Is that me? I don't know. Wait a minute.
This dare was kind of your idea,
Dare?
But I'm glad I'm me out here and not you in there.
My friends have locked me in here. I
think I've heard those same loving words
We've got
before.
Some stereotypical
like the time you guys dared me to spend the night
here.
at that cemetery. If you die in the museum tonight, I'll make sure she gives a eulogy at your
Why
funeral.
would I care? It's your girlfriend. You fucking
We never would have
prick.
made you spend the night here if you hadn't have talked about this place so much.
Yeah, we thought you'd been kind of, obsessed, thinking you hearing voices and
Hey,
stuff.
fuck you guys! I do hear voices! Fuck you!
Too weird for me.
It's not funny!
Hey, maybe they're the voices of those kids who disappeared 15 years ago.
Right, the police never found the bodies.
Yeah, see, she knows.
Or the killer.
She knows what I've been doing
and my
on
sister,
weekends.
Julie, the one in college, says Professor Windlenut went insane. He viciously murdered them and then buried their bodies in the basement of the
Cool!
museum.
Let's go to the basement and see a
Well,
dead
what if he's
body!
hiding in
Come on,
that
kids!
creepy
Let's go
museum
see a
right
dead
now,
body!
waiting for another victim.
Yeah, and the ghost of his victims are calling out, warning you.
All of these people need to
Hello?
be slapped.
I think it's for you.
Oh, now who's hearing voices, eh? Now who's crazy, you fuckers? Oh, and you're scared of a little wolf. And some creepy voices. Oh.
That was just a dog howling.
There was
No,
something
it
more
was
than
wolf.
that.
And I'm going
Well, I
to
didn't
feed you
hear
to
anything.
it, you fucking
I
pussy.
think this place is just getting us all spooked.
Are you sure you want to go through with this? You could back out at any time.
Well, then there
But
wouldn't
of course,
be a
if
game
you
to play
did,
now,
you'd
would there?
probably never
Just
live
fuck
down
off.
the chicken jokes.
That's true.
You'll be all right. Come on, I don't want to be late for the movie. We'll be back at dawn to let you out.
Bye-bye.
I have some terrible
See ya.
friends. That's one thing I've gathered already about this game. Now, I want you to think about this. Yes, go and watch your movie, you fucking assholes. Yes, just leave your friend here in an abandoned museum that someone could have converted into a fucking crack house. I mean, these are teenagers, mind you, and they've just left their friend here at this abandoned place here, this abandoned museum, and, well, you know, who knows what they could be walking into. I don't know how long this place is supposed to have been abandoned, but there could be hobos, crackheads, anything in here. You just never know. I mean, look at that fucking... What is this shit? Who has a fucking dragon on the wall beside their gate? Alright, now, for those of you who have never played these old point-and-click games before, I'm going to give you a little rundown. Basically, you run around and you click on everything. Aha! Until you find the right thing. But the skill in these games is to figure out where to go and what to do. Because there are puzzles and clues that they give you, and I'm guessing this letter here is probably one of them. Whitney & Son Ltd. 1481 Weathershire Street, London, England, from 19... Is that 84 or 64? I can't tell. Sir Hubert Windlenot, Museum of the Strange and Unusual. Oh, so this isn't just any museum, it's a Museum of the Strange and Unusual. Well, that should be interesting. Hold on, I'm going to need to pour a drink for this one. And I'm back. Now, I can already tell this is going to be strange, and I'm going to have to get drunk. Now, just to tell you, I have played this game before, but it's been a long time. I've been on your planet for something in the neighborhood of about 300 years, although I occasionally have to go back home and handle various business, since I am, you know, the ruler of an intergalactic empire and whatnot. But I remember playing this game when it was new, when it first came out, and I enjoyed it a lot back then. So, I remember very little about it. I remember a few little things. The main thing I remember is that you have to capture some evil spirits, and that is more or less the object of the game. And I remember that it's a puzzle game in this abandoned museum. And that's about all I can really remember at the moment. I'm hoping some of the rest of it will come back to me as I begin to play it, because I did actually play this game enough to beat it when it was new, so we'll see. Oh, we can read this letter. It's from Joseph P. Whitney. Dear Hubert, the firm of Whitney & Son, Ltd., has handled the legal and financial affairs of the Windlenots for 256 years, always in a discreet and trustworthy manner. In the tradition of Whitney & Son, James, my eldest, will continue serving you when I retire from the firm in a fortnight. He and Geoffrey often played together as children, so I'm sure you'll remember him. James and I were pleased to attend Geoffrey's wedding in London last April, and were surprised not to see you there. The Countess responded quite bitterly when asked about you. I tried to smooth things over by making a sizable financial endowment with a happy couple on your behalf. It puzzles your family and old friends as to why we have not heard from you for over 4 years, but we assume the museum keeps you busy. I will not bother you further. However, in my absence, if the firm fails to live up to your expectations, let me know personally. Your servant and friend, Joseph P. Whitney. I don't know if that was the right sort of voice, but that's as close as I can get. Sue me if it's not good enough. Fuck you. So, what can we guess from this? So he says that apparently this firm has handled the affairs of his family for 256 years. So this is a rich family. They've been rich for a long time. Who knows how that came to be, but whatever. So this Joseph Whitney fellow is obviously either his lawyer or his banker or his accountant or something. Maybe some combination of them. I don't know. Now, I don't know who this Geoffrey person is, or who this Countess is. So I assume that this letter was written to whoever owned this museum, which presumably would be Sir Hubert Windlenot. Apparently, his family and old friends didn't hear from him for over 4 years, and presumably because the museum kept him busy. Alright. Don't know if this will be particularly helpful or not. Oh, look. The number 29. Now, when you receive an obvious clue such as this one, you want to write it down, which I'm going to do right now. I don't know, I can't remember exactly how this number comes into play, but I seriously doubt that this would be here without it being some sort of clue. Apparently it's been abandoned a long while. We've got long vines here. I almost think that I could just climb this shit. Maybe climb from here to here, and then to here. Oh, can I do it? No, it just takes me back to the stupid dragon mailbox. It is a pretty sweet mailbox, though. I wish I had one like that. Oh, yes. No, I don't need to read this again. Fuckers, they locked me in. Now, if it's a dare, why did they feel the need to force me? Give me a moment. I'm going to take another drink. Ah, yes, the drunker I get, the more sense this game makes. Ha ha ha! So we've got a sign here. Professor Windlenots. But someone has turned it into Windlenuts. Ha ha! Windlenuts, eh? That sounds like a terrible disease. One that I would never, ever wish to contract. This way, opening soon. So it's abandoned, but it says opening soon. Right away, that tells us this museum never even opened. And apparently someone came along and did some graffiti. Turned Windlenot into Windlenut. Well, whatever. Was he nuts? Did he like nuts? I don't know. It's probably none of my business. So we've got some sphinxy pyramid-looking thing here. I guess we should climb it. Oh, we've got some graffiti here. It looks like some friendly gang members around the neighborhood have been decorating this place and using it for a little party spot. I can't say as I blame them, but I can't read this either. That's like a B, looks like an R and 2 Ds, so like Bod Rod? I don't know. I've never heard of that gang before, but I'm not particularly familiar with those things anyway. We've got a big pot, big vase. Oh, more graffiti. Now this one looks like a dancing rooster. See, there's his little rooster comb and his feet. So sue me. It's the best I can come up with. How fucking tall is this thing? Now this was supposed to be the front entrance. So they make people climb all these stairs before they can even get in here. Oh, it keeps going. It keeps fucking going. And there's more graffiti that I can't even read. What kind of illiterate sloppy fuckers did this shit? Look at this. Makes no sense. They won't even let me get a good look at it anyway. Glam rock. That's what happened. Fucking Judas Priest. Oh. Finally, I think I'm at the top. Apparently they wanted all the guests to this museum to be tired out before they even got in. Alright, so I presume this is the front door. Shall we ring the bell?
Welcome to Professor Windlenot's Museum of the Strange and Unusual. Unfortunately, the museum is still preparing exhibits and hopes you will visit when we open sometime in the near future.
Well, listen here, you bastard. I am Calgacus Bloodfart, ruler of Yargamfluff, and I do not like to be kept waiting. No, you've got to be kidding me. You mean I climbed all these fucking stairs for nothing? You motherfucker! Okay, I don't know what significance that has, so I can't open it. Damn it! Guess that means I've got to go all the way fucking back down. Damn you, Shivers! Damn you and your Evil game designers from hell. You will pay. I will find the people who designed this game. I will hit them in the head with a hammer. Oh, Lord. Alright, so I suppose the only way I can go now is over this way. What have we here? Now they've drawn attention to this symbol, so it probably has some meaning. I'm going to write this down. It looks something like the circular Yoggenflopfian sand snail, but to you humans it might be a depiction of your sun. I'm not really sure, I'll just copy it down. I love the sound of crickets. It's so beautiful, so pleasant. Now, finding your way around is not as hard as it may seem because there are only so many places you can go. For instance, I can't go over here at all. There's just no... See, you watch the icon change. This means I can go this way, and so on. So they limit you as far as where you can go, and that actually makes it easier. See, I can't go over here. Now, this means you turn around. You see? Huh, it's another symbol. Alright, let me write this one down as well. Alright. Some kind of a gazebo. Alright. Clearly I have to put in some sort of combination here. Perhaps if I look around I will find some kind of number. Oh yes. Well, it doesn't look like I can go anywhere around here. All they'll let me do is turn around. Yes, I already found a number, and it was number 29. Let's just see if that is it. It's the only clue, really, that I have found so far. At least the only numerical clue. So I guess I push this button. Alright. So I solve one puzzle, and it opens up another puzzle. This game's got puzzles on top of puzzles. It doesn't get any better than that, folks. It doesn't get any better. So, what do I hit this crank? Number 7. Oh, alright. Oh, I see. I move these things. Not really sure what I'm doing here. Just kind of playing around. Okay. So I guess I've only got so many moves I can make before it automatically shuts it on me. Oh, wait. White on top, black on the bottom. I see. The pegs are correct, but the gears are not. I have to switch them. That was easy. That was really fucking easy. Okay, I just heard some kind of watery noise. No idea what just fucking happened. But I must have done something right, or else the handle would not have turned. There is some water here. This moat around this little fake Stonehenge. Well, it's not that little, but you get the idea. Perhaps it's over here where... Ah. Now this little stone bridge is open. Oh, and I hear the monks chanting. Oh, now look, I'm not going to take any vows of silence. I'm certainly not going to take any damn vows of celibacy. So don't get any ideas, you fucking monks. You monkey bastards. Got a symbol here. So that's the third symbol we have found. Let me write this one down. Alright. So we're here at Stonehenge. Oh, it looks like I can go down. Ah! Now here are at least one of the symbols that I have seen. This looks like that symbol I saw on the door. Alright, obviously I've got to match up the symbols with their correct colors. So I didn't really pay much attention to the colors, but I remember that snail-looking thing was green. So I'm going to have to... Yes, alright, that makes sense. I'm going to have to look around at the other colors. So this one is like a cross, and it's in the rocks. So it's like a rock color. I guess this is rock color. I want to put the cross. That was it. Damn it, I passed it up. Fuck. There we are. So what do we have left? We've got grey, white. Wait, I believe that S-shaped thing I saw earlier was white. Yes. So we've got 3 of them already, and that leaves 3 left we've got to figure out. One is made of wood. See that wood grain? One is orange. And one of them is like a grey stone. Now wait, one of those symbols was kind of like the one I saw on the door. The door was not wood, and it was not orange. So let's assume that that one is grey. That narrows it down to just these 2. I wonder if the symbols repeat. Now see that target and that other one. Okay, we've seen that. We've seen that. We've seen that. We've seen that. Not that. It looks like some kind of weird fucking bacteria. And then this little target looking... Okay, so we've got... This makes sense. Obviously they're not supposed to be repeated. We've got the same number of symbols as we do triangles. So this is pretty much a 50-50 chance. Alright, nothing's happening. Ah! Alright, they stayed. Awesome. Alright, we know these 3 are right, and I'm pretty sure about this one. So let's switch these 2 and see if we get a better result. Wait. There we are. Aha! Eureka! We have unlocked the spiral staircase to our doom. Obviously that was not one of the game's more difficult puzzles, since they pretty much gave you clues all over the place, but that's how many of these games are. If you just keep your eyes out, you'll find the clues and be able to solve the puzzles. If you don't look for clues, you will be completely lost, like someone wandering around in the dark, like this. Alright. Oh, look. There appears to be some kind of a box. Well, I suppose that's what I should have expected. That's odd. When I click on it, it just... Oh, I get it. I have to hold down and pull. Ha ha ha. How clever. Alright. Not only did that turn on the lights, it turned on some nice creepy music. And we can now see what we are in someone's puke green nightmare hallway. Now, under most circumstances, I would not need to look for a light switch in a situation like this. I would simply do like any other Jagenflopfian. I would make use of the glowing tip at the end of my penis to guide my way through a dark space. But, of course, this game is a human game, so they wouldn't have thought of that. So right away we've got some kind of maze. I don't really want to go down. Seems like I should be going up. That's where I came in, I believe. What? That's a funny noise. It kind of makes Makes my balls vibrate. Oh! Oh! I kind of like it. Let's do it again. Oh! Yes, I like it. Haha. Alright, no more funny business. Let's try to figure out this game. I'm having too much fun, people. Too much fun. I guess I do have to go down these stairs. Not really anywhere else that I can go. It looks like someone just puked pea soup all over these walls and then just stuccoed over it. Oh, this is different. Excellent. Oh, found a boat. Now we can take a little boat ride. Hey! Oh, well, first there's some things we can check out. We've got a little pool here. A little cave pool. Probably full of those little clear-skinned fishies. The ones that have a skin, but you can see right through it. You know the kind I'm talking about. They're cool. Now, I like this big granite door. I want one like that. I would put one on my spaceship, but you know, being a spaceship, it has to remain relatively light. Now, it is weightless once I get into space, but it, you know, has to be able to reach escape velocity as easy as possible, so, you know. Hey, wait. It appears I can go here. Well, this appears to be... It is! It's a dead body! Haha! Remember what I said before? Let's go to the basement and see a dead body. Well, I suppose I forgot that there is, in fact, a dead body. Right here! Ha-ha! You're dead, buddy! Ha-ha! So who is this man? Oh, we've got a book. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So, who was he? You see, he's got some kind of wide-brimmed hat. Now, he looks to have scrawled the letter G into the dirt before he died. Now, this could mean several things. Perhaps it stood for God, and he was calling out to the name of his God in his final moments. But this little squiggly line wouldn't make sense, and this, I don't know, this looks like an educated man who would not have drawn his G's backwards. It looks right to us, but to him it would have been backwards, so that doesn't make sense either. G, eh? Oh, I know, he was trying to tell us that he was a straight G, that he was a gangster. Perhaps he's the one who did the graffiti. Yes, that makes sense. But I don't know, he doesn't really look like a gangster. He's not dressed like one. Again, I'm not an expert in those types of human customs, but he just doesn't look the part. He doesn't look very gangster to me. Perhaps that book will tell us more. Wait, I know what it is. I know what's going on. This is a fish hook. This is a line. It's a fish hook on the end of a line. He's trying to tell us that he died of starvation down here trying to catch a fish. Ha-ha! I have figured it out. Let's see if the book says anything else. We've got Egyptian hieroglyphs. One for man, one for woman. Apparently all Egyptian men had this weird little pointy beard, and all Egyptian women went around with big vases on their heads. Akhenaten tried to introduce monotheistic worship of the god Aten unsuccessfully into Egypt and began its downfall. Yes, just imagine the look on someone's face when they realize that they've just fucked up a society that has prospered for 5,000 years. Wah, wah, wah. What a fuck-up he was. Yes, apparently this one fucked up so bad, they chiseled his name out of all monuments, even his father's. So, now we have Cleopatra, Lady T. So these appear to be the seals of various rulers. Now, one thing I do know from previous study is that these little seals are called cartouches. This symbolizes rope around the symbols for their name. And only the name of a royal person would have a cartouche around it. So these are all seals. Yes, there's King Tut, Amenhotep, Ramses, the most famous one, probably. Oh, what is this? Alright, now this is an obvious clue. I'm going to write this down. Just hold on. Alright, so... Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, all that beeping you heard in the background before, that was my spaceship. I forgot to turn it off. So I've wrote this down. We'll probably need it later. And now we have a missing page. If, really, some kind of sphinx and obelisks and shit. And that's all. It doesn't tell us who he was. Or why he is down here, or how he died. So it is still a big mystery. All we can really do now is get in this fucking boat. Alright, what is this? No steering wheel. No throttle. Nothing. Just a little rusty cross thing that doesn't work. And an ankh that also doesn't seem to work. Well, that at least did something. It didn't help this any. I'm not really sure what else to do here. This doesn't work. Alright. Not really sure why, but that seems to have done something. Oh, alright. Oh, that moved me. And the music changed. Now it's gotten creepy. Dun, 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 dun. Now this really does make me think that something bad is about to happen. So we should just move through here and, get out of the water as quick as possible. Oh, alright, I guess I've got to turn the wheel again. I hear something bubbling. Yes. Oh! You son of a whore! What the hell? Oh, I remember now. It's one of the evil spirits. Yes, this is my health bar, and that asshole just took some of it. Fucking fucker. Well, there probably wasn't anything I could do about that. Alright, end of the line. It's as far as she goes. We can't go down this little stone asshole this way. Alright, we've got a passage, and then we've got what looks like a little egg-shaped pot with the head of a duck. No, it's more like a rooster. A rooster from hell. Oh, I broke it. Fuck. It's a ghost. Hello.
15 long years in this prison. You, get out. Do not meddle in things
Don't tell
beyond
me
your
what to do.
understanding. You will
I am
pay for
Calgacus
your
Bloodfart.
curiosity. You are
Go
in
right,
great
please.
danger. They are so evil.
Who?
Already some of your life essence has been stolen. I was too old, not fast enough.
Yes,
The
weak.
Ixupi are so evil.
What's
It is
the
imperative
Ixupi?
to find all the vessels, because it seems only when they are united with their talismans do they have any power. My plan was to use them on the Ixupi before any more of them escape into the world. I believe they cannot resist the vessels as long as they're with the talismans and you approach directly. This vessel here is of no use to you, however. Its Ixupi is the one who robbed me of my essence. And he has escaped into the world. And they've ruined my museum!
Ruined my museum. I believe if I were a ghost, I wouldn't be so worried about that. I'd be a lot more worried about, being dead. Wait, my museum. That must have been old Windlenot's. Windlenot. Which means that the dead body we found earlier was most likely his. He was wearing those same little nerdy shorts, though he was missing the hat. So, he said that the vessels can be used to trap the Ixupi, the evil spirits. But he said this one was useless because the evil spirit had already escaped into the world. Well, that's interesting because it sort of makes this game a little bit pointless. I mean, it means that even if I trap all the others, there's already one, at least, that has escaped. So, you know, I just want to know that... I don't know. You'd think that they would want me to trap all the evil spirits and not just, you know, all but one. So just so you know, if one day you get ambushed by an evil spirit and he kills you, remember that your friend Calgacus tried to help. Blame the people who made this game for preventing me. So, I would say this is a maze, but it led straight to this elevator, with pretty much nowhere else to go. Alright. The door doesn't open. So the camera's still... How does this place still have power after... That guy said he had been in the pot for 50 years. So, how does it still have power 50 years later? What is this? Alright, I have to move these little fucking dragon flower head things around, but where do they have to go? Ah, of course. This is obviously the pattern. It's even circled. They've made this very obvious. This is definitely not all that hard of a game so far. I seem to remember it being harder than this, but we have only just started to get into it. What the fuck? Now this is literally impossible. Oh, no it's not. Okay. Bingo! Took me a minute, but I got it. Alright, we've got an elevator. Going up. I guess we're in the basement, so you really could only go up. Alright, I suppose now we're going to enter the museum proper. Alright, I guess that's what you do if you want to get back in there, so... We don't want to go the same way we've come. Oh look, it's that creepy music again. It's that... When I turn around, it goes away. So it must be over there. Oh, and I hear this noise, so I must be close. Well, I have a feeling that I should... Alright, now... Let's see, I turned away and I still hear the music, but I don't hear that creepy noise. Yes, obviously it's in here, and if I zoom in here, it will probably get me. So let's just not do that. For future reference, whenever we hear that creepy music, we know that one of the evil spirits is nearby. I do remember that, because that's something you always have to listen for when you are playing this game. When that music changes, you know that there's an evil spirit nearby. I do remember that now. So we are obviously in Mr. Windelnut's office. Oh, well. Guess there was a newspaper in his pocket. So we've got a picture of some nerdy-looking girl here. Great big glasses, big gaping smile. Oh, look at this boy here. He's got a really, really big protruding butt chin. And insanely curly hair. I mean, he looks like Carrot Top without the red. Hey, look, I can put my cursor here. Makes it look like he's got a little mustache. Haha. No, more like a little goatee. There we go. Now he's got a little Guy Fawkes mustache. It looks kind of good on her, too. Ha ha ha. I like the look of that. Now she's a bearded lady. A bearded nerd. Now this one is circled and it says, "Is this the boy who's been following me?" Alright, well, presumably it was Windlenut who circled this and wrote this, so has this boy been following the professor around? Well, that doesn't make much sense. Wouldn't he be following some girl around like this girl here? Politics. Presidential candidate Ronald Reagan received a hero's welcome as he arrived in his home state yesterday for a week of campaigning and fundraising. He will appear in Los Angeles for the next 2 days, then travel to San Francisco, Sacramento, and Oakhurst over the course of the following 3 days. After a short sabbatical at his ranch above Santa Barbara, Reagan plans to sweep the shore, blah, 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 blah. Alright, I don't know if that's a clue or not, but I'm going to write down these cities. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, Oakhurst, maybe Santa Barbara. I don't know, it could be nothing, but I'm going to write it down anyway. Oh, now look here. Tornado hits local trailer park. Never seen nothing like it, says Mayor. Really? Never seen nothing like it, huh? Well, gee, you know, full disclosure, I'm actually in a trailer park right now. And it is what you might call a redneck, kind of trailer park. But there are thankfully no tornadoes in this part of the country. If there were, I would be very worried, and I would not be living in a trailer park. Just so you know. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, before we go any further, is that I am actually recording this on antique equipment, just to give you a full immersive experience of the mid-90s. Well, actually, this microphone that I'm using is even older than this fucking game. Haha. You see, this is an old camcorder microphone from the late 1980s. It's from like 88 or 89 or so. It was top of the line when it first came out, so it's not that bad. However, the foam had degraded and rotted away, so I had to cut a piece of foam from out of my couch in order to pad it so that it wouldn't pop and crackle, as they will do if they are not padded with foam. But yes, we are using antique equipment to play antique games, so you can't ask for better than that. You just can't ask for better. Alright, so, teenagers still missing, police baffled. Wait, Mount Pleasant Tribune, Mount Pleasant's best and only newspaper. Okay. Police are baffled by the disappearance of Beth Nelson and Merrick Campbell. I'm going to write those names down. A witness reported last seeing the pair leaving together from the high school on Friday. While police are treating the disappearance as a runaway, students at the school insist that the pair were not that close. No way would he... Excuse me. No way would he run off with her. Beth was always following Merrick around, but I think he just put up with her. She wasn't very popular, said cheerleader Stephanie Stiles. Police first became aware of the missing teenagers early Saturday morning when Merrick's father, John Campbell, reported the disappearance of his son. Recently relocated from New York City. Wait. Now this does tell us something. It tells us that this is in California. So the town is Mount Pleasant, California. That's what it seems to be anyway. Why else would... Yes. Okay, so... Getting back to it, Mr. Campbell, the boy's father, teaches chemistry at the local university. I know there has been foul play. Merrick would never run away as he plans to attend Harvard next fall, Mr. Campbell stated. Mrs. Rachel Nelson, a Mount Pleasant native and the mother of the missing girl, was working Friday night at Bob's Tavern and was not aware of her own daughter's absence until the police came to question her on Saturday. Well, so her mother was a tavern wench. and quite possibly a skanky whore, whoring herself at the tavern. Apparently Bob was pimping her. The girl's father is living out of state, probably living out of the back of a van somewhere under the bridge, and the police have reported that he has no knowledge of his daughter's whereabouts. If anyone has any information leading to the location of the two teenagers, please contact either the police or the newspaper. So you heard him, you fuckers. If you have seen this ugly-looking nerd bitch with the crooked glasses, or this funny-looking guy with the butt chin and the frizzy hair, then be sure you contact either police or the Mount Pleasant Tribune, Mount Pleasant's best and only newspaper. So saith Giles Blatt. Alright, that's all for the newspaper. What have we here? Atlantis solved. Oh, well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I already know exactly where Atlantis is, and this map actually has it sort of right. It is roughly in this area. It wasn't exactly the same shape, but they've got the right idea. And yet, the professor has circled this area here, and it says must explore. And it's Florida. Florida and Cuba. Well, wait. Yes, that's Cuba. What the fuck? Florida and Cuba are not underwater. Alright. Clicking around. Expedition forms to search for Atlantis, Bimini, APO. Now that brought it back. Alright, there's a place off the coast of Florida called Bimini Island where people have found like an underwater road of some sort. At least that's what it looks like. So, some people are of the opinion that this was the remnants of a sunken city, such as possibly Atlantis. So, yes, I have heard of this. It says, the lost city of Atlantis may yet be found if Dr. John Poyermo and Sir Hubert T. Windlenot have their way. Dr. Poyermo maintains that Bimini Island is the western tip of the much larger continent of Atlantis that once covered the entire area known as the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, they're trying to tie it in with the Bermuda Triangle. Well, that's some stupid shit, alright? It has nothing to do with the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is a natural magnetic vortex, and it tends to pull down ships and sometimes even planes if they fly too low. It's that simple, people. Now, I don't mean to just dismiss all the great mysteries of your world, but I am here to educate you fucking barbarians, and that is part of it. It's time to leave your superstitions aside, alright? The Bermuda Triangle has got nothing to do with aliens or Atlantis or any fucking shit like that. It's just a magnetic vortex. Get over it. So, previous research has been focused on the west side of the island, where marble columns and an underwater road have been discovered. Alright. Sir Hubert T. Windlenot, second son of Sir William Windlenot. So his daddy was named Willie Windlenuts. I don't know why, but I find that really funny. Willie Windlenuts. Just say that name 3 times, like Willie Windlenuts. It's funny. At least I think so. And so he was the Earl of Runcorn. Haha, Runcorn. And he was funding. So Sir Hubert T. Windlenot, the professor, was the man putting up the money for the expedition. So somehow this guy had a lot of money, came from an old rich family. And it says Professor Windlenot, as he now prefers to be called. Well, was he not a professor? I'm confused. Usually nobody calls themselves professor unless they actually are such. Apparently he has funded many archaeological expeditions and will soon be opening a museum to house the artifacts he has collected. The museum seeks to explain not only the mystery of Atlantis, but many other unexplained mysteries, Sir Windlenot explained. All right then, well, So, as I said, part of my purpose on this planet is to educate you fucking barbarians about some of the many things that are hidden from you. You see, part of the problem is the fact that your governments like to hide certain things from you because they think that you just can't handle it, or perhaps because they want to keep some useful information only for themselves. And another problem is that when you humans get angry with each other and start having wars, you have a tendency to start destroying records. And, well, that's why large portions of your history are fucking missing. Now, my people are very savage and barbaric in our own ways, but we do not do that. Now look at these other alternate theories. Why would anyone think Atlantis was in the middle of the Arctic Ocean? Well, I guess that would be underwater, but it would be so cold, what the fuck could even live there? And Greenland? Again, not underwater. Here in like Sweden, I guess. I guess that'd be Denmark. That would be the place where the British Isles would be if this map were accurate. And they've got like Atlantis number 2 here. I don't even know where they got that. Mexico, really? Oh yes, sure. Mexico was Atlantis. Sure, whatever. Oh yes, it was in the Great Plains. Yes, one of the most landlocked places on the planet was Atlantis. I swear, this guy, he really was nuts. I understand why they called him Hubert Windle Nuts. So I can't read any of these books. Apparently, this man was illiterate, and his books were just for show. Fucking moron. Oh, yes. Perhaps later I will tell you the true history of Atlantis. For right now, I will only tell you that underwater road, it was actually built by the Atlanteans. However, they did not live underwater. They lived above the water on this continent here. But they learned how to build underwater vehicles by harnessing the power of hydrogen gas. Now, as you know, or at least as you should know, if you take water and you run an electric current into it, the hydrogen and the oxygen in the water will separate. The result is that you will get hydrogen gas, pure hydrogen gas, which can be used as a fuel source. Well, the Atlanteans figured this out, and they used it to make great big electric underwater chariots of death, with which they would hunt all sorts of marine creatures for their diet. Now, their favorite delicacy was the fish people. The fish people, yes, they were a race of humanoid fish that the Atlanteans started preying upon because they were very tasty. But perhaps I will tell you the rest of the story later, if you are worthy. Right now you have not proven yourself worthy to hear the entirety of my wisdom. Now look, someone cut the phone. The evil spirits said, "Look here, buddy, we've watched The Exorcist. We're not going to let you call in somebody to come in here and exorcise us." Yes, they were afraid that he would call up an old priest and a young priest, and they would just drive them out. So can't read these books, can't fuck with the lamp, can't fuck with the stapler or the clock. So we've got a book. Alright, we can mess with this. But what's this other thing before we get into the scrapbook? Now, we can't look at either of these pieces of paper. Obviously, we've got drawers to look at. Oh, what have we here? How do I look closer at this? I remember there's a way to look closer. Maybe it's got something to do with this eyeball. Oh, yes, that was it. It's a bull. Alright. I believe this is one of the lids for the vessels that are used to trap the evil spirits. There's a note here. My dear Hubert. Wait, who wrote this? I need to know what kind of voice to read this in. Mary Elizabeth Windlenot. Mary Elizabeth Windlenot. All right. My dear Hubert, I want to thank you for resigning from the Royal Society and avoiding the shame of being publicly dismissed. While our friends have not forgotten how you embarrassed us, they at least have the courtesy to refrain from mentioning your indiscretions in public. Man, this guy must have fucked up pretty bad. He's talking about all their friends being embarrassed and him being kicked out of the Royal Society, which I guess is some kind of prestigious scientific society or whatever. And his wife, presumably, is thanking him for resigning and avoiding the shame of just being booted the fuck out. Huh. Had the Griffin been your only lapse... The Griffin? Oh, Lord. Now I get it. Now I get it. His wife left him because he fucked a griffin. He was on one of his little archaeological digs. He managed to find a griffin, whether living or dead, I don't know, and he fucked it, and somehow his wife found out and left him. And thus, that is why he was forced out of the Royal Society, etc., etc. Had the griffin been your only lapse, I think Sir Brown would have dismissed it. What? He would have dismissed it? I don't know if I would forgive somebody for just raping a fucking griffin like that. I mean, damn. But you are constantly presenting things like curses of tombs, a mummified cyclops, proof of life in outer space, and a unicorn. Alright, now, that's a lot to address at one time. Now, the thing with life in outer space, proof of life in outer space, well, you're looking at it, bitch. I'm here. I am proof of life in outer space. I can't show you my face, but whatever. You see, my messages are only for the worthy. Anyway, now, curses of tombs. Now, that is a universal fact. All over the galaxy, it is a bad idea to go digging around in an ancient tomb. It just tends to turn into a bad thing. So, a mummified cyclops? Now, there are cyclops people who live in the Crab Nebula, but I've never seen one mummified. I believe they cremate their dead. I have some friends amongst the cyclops. They are some of my staunchest allies, and have helped me to conquer many worlds. And a unicorn, I don't know. If there ever was a unicorn, I've never seen one. I can't say there weren't. I don't know. So getting back to it. I know you felt slighted by your colleagues, and that was why you left England. But Hubert, your reputation is that of a trickster, not a scientist. I'm worried that our son might not be accepted into the proper social circus. Which brings me to the point of this letter. It would be better for Geoffrey... Alright, Geoffrey must be his son. If you cease all communications with him, his future is far too important to risk jeopardizing it with dreams of a father digging up some myth from a distant tomb. Excuse me, desert tomb. I read it wrong. I trust that you will do the honorable thing and leave Geoffrey alone while you play with your museum. With regards... Mary Elizabeth Windlenot. What a fucking bitch! So, I mean, alright, all Griffin fucking jokes aside, it sounds like he was just into some strange shit, and he got laughed at by his colleagues, and his wife just said, fuck you, and left him, and said, no, you can't even see your son anymore. What a fucking bitch. Alright, now, even if he was crazy, that's just straight out of line. Ugh. These are terrible people, I can already tell. So all that's left to do is to look at this, and it appears to be a tape recorder. Obviously we want to listen to it, so let's rewind it all the way to the beginning. And let's hear it. Alright, well, I'm a little confused now. Because it almost sounds as if we just listened to his death, but we know he didn't die here. He died down in the basement, and we know that because, of course, we found his dead body. So again, he's talking about finding the right vessel for each Exupi, and the Exupi are obviously the evil spirits, like this one behind me that I can hear. So, obviously you have to match up vessels, and this is, I guess this is a lid for one of them. So yes, that's one thing I remember. You have to find vessels and lids, match them up with the right evil spirit, and capture them. And that's what the professor failed to do because he was an idiot. September 17th, 1980. Now wait. Wait. When was that tape recording made? He gave the date at the beginning. What was it again? September 30th of September, 1980. Now, what was that letter dated again? So, this letter was written about 13 days before that tape recording. My dearest Jeffrey, I was deeply gratified to... Wait, I'll try to... This was obviously written by Windlenot to his son. So, I'm going to try and read it in his voice. My dearest Jeffrey, I was deeply gratified to receive your letter. After 8 years, I was afraid you would never forgive me. Your letter, however, gave me hope that I might once again be part of your life. You may not be aware of this, but your mother felt it best that I distance myself from you. She was perhaps correct. When I first dreamed of the museum, you were to be a part of it. 20 years have passed, and it is still incomplete. I do feel, however, with the Ziegfeld Schwartz acquisition and an upcoming trip to Zimbabwe, my collection will be complete. Please come view the museum and tell me what you think. Yours is the one opinion I treasure most in all the... And he started to write half of a W here, but he never finished it. So, why did he never finish this letter? We know it wasn't anything having to do with the evil spirits, because this happened 13 days. And plus, well, I don't know. Wait, there was a book that we forgot to look at. I just remembered it. Scrapbook, Professor Windlenot. Alright, this might tell us some useful things. Oh look, we've got a picture of a griffin killing a horse. Now that's cool. Alright. Sir Hubert Windlenot has been asked to withdraw his name from the Royal Society. This latest request by the Society was prompted by Windlenot's presentation of a griffin found in a tar pit in Turkey. Sir John S. Brown, president of the Society, made the following statement. Sir Hubert Windlenot is infamous in the 20th century for his capacity to embrace even the tallest of tales as proof of his own theories. This so-called griffin was fabricated from a pterodactyl, a saber-toothed tiger, and a raptor, all found conveniently in the same pit. He is a charlatan, not an archaeologist, and should not be considered one. You will remember, dear reader, that only last year Windlenot funded a major expedition to search for the entrance to a subterranean world. Now that's true, there is a subterranean world. That's one of the things your government doesn't want you to know about, you see. There is a subterranean world and a whole bunch of people that live there. But there's only so much room under there, and they don't want the rest of you coming down there and spoiling their nice little underground place, so So, just pretend you never heard about that. And tried to prove that Stonehenge was built by space aliens. Well, speaking as a space alien, I can dismiss that right away. Stonehenge is only impressive because it was built by primitive people, and you look at it and you wonder, oh, how did they move such big rocks? Well, let me tell you, if I had come down to your world in ancient times and taught you to make something interesting, I would have taught you to make something much cooler than a circle of great big rocks. Alright? If it were alien technology, it really would be much cooler. This writer admits that Windlenot's theories sound a bit far-fetched, but I for one hope he continues his research. Alright, so the writer of this article is skeptical but open-minded. Oh my lord, look at this man. Look at that face. This is the face of methamphetamine addiction. I am now convinced this man wasn't just naturally crazy, he was high on drugs. Oh, excuse me. So it says there was a museum groundbreaking with the Mount Pleasant mayor, Jim Wilton, and the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Bob Taylor.
Yes, I'm Professor Hubert Windlenot. I've got my shovel and everything for my museum groundbreaking, yes.
This man was on serious drugs. Look at him. Look at his eyes. My lord, he didn't even know where he was. So this museum was scheduled to open in the spring of 1961. Museum of Broken Dreams. When Sir Hubert Windlenot appeared in Mount Pleasant 11 years ago, I'm going to read this in a different voice.
When Sir Hubert Windlenot appeared in Mount Pleasant 11 years ago, he brought a breath of fresh air to this tired college town. After teaching just one semester at the college, he took on the title of professor and announced he would build a museum that would bring the wonders of the world to our little town. Our hopes soared. This meant new jobs during the construction of the museum and a surge of tourism to boost our economy. Our hopes soon died, however, when the professor announced that only outside contractors would be used to keep the secrets of the museum from being exposed. Then, just yesterday, he announced that the museum, which is already 5 years overdue, would require at least another 3 years to complete. I, for one, am tired of having my hopes and dreams for a better Mount Pleasant dashed on the rocks of Professor Windlenot's museum. I believe it will never open. Now, this is from 1970. This guy comes off as a whiny bitch. If you are pinning your hopes and dreams on a man with a face like this, you're a fucking idiot. Do you understand? You do not trust a face like this. You do not invest your hopes and dreams in a face like this. Now wait, this is wrong anyway. It says that the museum is already 5 years overdue. 1961 is when it was originally scheduled to open. And this was written in 1970. It was 9 years overdue. This fucking asshole couldn't even count. So it sounds like he was hoping that he could get a job working in the museum, because he's an idiot who can't even count. Hence why he can't go get some other job. Geoffrey P. Windlenot, son of the absent Sir Hubert T. Windlenot, so that must be his son, and Lady Mary Elizabeth Windlenot will be attending Oxford in the fall. The Windlenots have not only attended Oxford for 7 generations, but have been generous benefactors as well. Geoffrey will follow in his grandfather's footsteps, Sir Willie Windlenot, Earl of Runcorn, and study banking, hoping to work for the family firm upon graduation. Well, now we know where all the money comes from. He comes from a banking family.
So yes, that explains why his family is filthy rich. Is this not a goofy-looking little bastard? Look at how long his neck is. I mean, seriously, that's not normal for your species, is it? I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a human with a neck like that. He's like some kind of giraffe hybrid. Once again, this is the face of methamphetamine addiction. Do not trust this face, kids. Never. Nor this one. Nor that. Do not trust it. Now, these must be... I don't know. Artifacts sold. The personal possessions of Ziegfeld Schwartz. Now, he was mentioned earlier. He said something about the Ziegfeld Schwartz acquisition. So, the personal possessions of Ziegfeld Schwartz, who died 23 years ago, were sold yesterday to Sir Hubert Windlenot. So, 23 years ago, 1977... So that would be like 1954 when Ziegfeld Schwartz died. So Sir Hubert Windlenot offered and paid an undisclosed amount for the entire collection. Officials said he was interested in never-resolved rumors surrounding the mysterious death of Mr. Schwartz. Huh. When questioned, the buyer said, "I believe his demise is related to pottery vessels that I hope are still included among his possessions." Ah, now I get it. These are the vessels that you use to trap the evil spirits. These vessels have reportedly been linked to the deaths of several individuals, each found shriveled and mummified. Well, that's how I found him. Ha ha! You're dead, buddy! I am interested in the vessels from an archaeological viewpoint, however. So Windlenot plans to exhibit the vessels in a museum he has founded. And that's the end. Alright, well, going through old Windlenot's office here has been very interesting. Now, once again, we've got this evil spirit here looking to get us. But he's just going to have to fuck off. So, we're going to... Yes, alright. I thought that's what it did. We're going to go ahead and save our game. So, for those of you who have been watching all the way to the end, I hope you enjoyed this first episode. If so, feel free to tune in next time as we continue to destroy the old classic video games as only an evil space dictator warlord can hope to do. See you next time, Earth nerds. Ha ha ha. Goodbye.